We will start new topic from cardiology. Very important topic, infective endocarditis. First, we will see clinical history and findings. Patient present with fever, malaise, and fatigue. Heart murmur can be seen. Weight loss, coughing, and there is genuine lesion. Painless hemorrhagic cutaneous lesion on the palm and soles. History of intracranial hemorrhage and conjunctival hemorrhage can be seen. There is splinter hemorrhage also seen. Kidney infarct and splenic infarct can also be seen. There is damage of the kidney also occur in the form of glomerulonephritis, which allow blood and albumin to appear in urine. Osler's node can be seen at the distal finger, painful subcutaneous lesion. The retina can show Roth spot, and the patient showing serum rheumatoid factor positive. This is splinter hemorrhage in the finger. Then this is Roth spot in the eye, splinter hemorrhage, Osler's node and Janualism, Osler's node at finger. Then again Osler's node, Janualism, which on palm and sole we can see it clearly. Infective endocarditis, there is main damage of endocardium and walls are mainly involved. Most of the cases are due to bacterial infection, and few years back this disease caused almost universal fatal, but as we comes under modern antibiotic era, due to antibiotic treatment, mortality reduced. Because we know the valves of the heart not receive any blood supply, so our body immune mechanism as well as the external treatment has very less effect, and the bacteria form vegetation on the valves. The infective endocarditis can be classified into subacute and acute on the basis of rate of progression and severity of disease. These are the causes of infective endocarditis. In microbes, the Staph aureus in intravenous drug abusers, and Streptococcus viridans is also very common. Enterococcus of a Streptococcus family is also very common, and some normal oral flora also cause infective endocarditis. They are Haemophilus influenza, Actinobacillus, Cardiobacterium, Echinella, Kingella, and in few cases fungi, Rickettsia and Chlamydia also participate. The acute one is very severe and there is 50% mortality rate. The course of disease is in days, while in subacute are with low mortality and course of disease is in weeks. Ultimately, it presents as vegetation on the walls, can be classified between infective and non-infective. Infective having size of the lesion is more than 5 mm, while non-infective causes having smaller size of the vegetation. For diagnosis of infective endocarditis, we need Duke's criteria, and in Duke's criteria there is certain conditions. On basis of that we can make the diagnosis of infective endocarditis, like rheumatic fever, rheumatic heart disease. Here also there is major and minor criteria. Under major criteria, there are positive blood culture indicating characteristics organism in two samples, which is collected 12 hours apart. Then echocardiographic findings suggesting valve related mass or vegetation or abscess or any new valvular regurgitation in echocardiographic finding. This is comes under major criteria. In this picture there is large vegetation seen at valves. This is echocardiographic finding. The arrow denoting vegetation on tricuspid valve. Then minor criteria. Minor criteria: history of any heart lesion or intravenous drug abuse, associated fevers, vascular lesions like arterial petechiae, subungual or splinter hemorrhage, septic infarct, mycotic aneurysm, intracranial hemorrhage, and Janeway lesion. Other immunological phenomenon can present as glomerulonephritis, Osler's node, Roth spot, rheumatoid factors. They all comes under the minor criteria. The non-infective vegetation we have already discussed. Size is less than 5 mm, can cause pulmonary embolism, even malignancy lead to non-infective vegetations. SLE can cause non-infective vegetation. Libman sac. The important feature or very important feature is that in SLE, Libman sac, there is both sides of the walls involved. Thank you.